host of the Mike Gallagher Show, website Mike Online, the one, the only, Mr. Mike Gallagher!
There's a rumor and I got to just say this, get this off my chest, because I can't get over that Jake Tapper clip that you played, but there's a rumor that Larry Elder on stage, the world stage on the Holland America Eurodam cruise ship, might be performing his famous rendition of Satchmo. Now, it's a rumor. I don't know if it's
thought you were going to say
not.
famous rendition of Jake Tapper.
Well, look, Jake Tapper is like the arsonist who burns down 3 buildings and then he publishes a book for the fire department, like a manual on how to fight fires. Can you imagine the gall? You said it a moment ago about his. I'll put it in technical terms. The chutzpah of a guy who was so obnoxious in claiming that there was nothing wrong with Joe Biden, battering Lara Trump. Oh, what about the children with stutters? And now he wants to make millions on a book that chronicles the cognitive decline of Joe Biden. Larry, how do you do that? How do you go out in public? I would think he'd be in the witness protection program.
He's shameless, and he knows that the media will cover for him. Consider this. In 2017, after Charlottesville, as you know, President Trump gives a press conference, and he says, I'm not talking about the white nationalists and the neo-Nazis, quote, because they should be condemned totally. When he said both sides, he was talking about there are good and bad people on both sides, about the debate about whether there should be a Confederate monument in the public square. Okay, 3 years later, Jake Tapper goes on CNN and says, I went back and looked at the tape. And Donald Trump was not saying there were good and bad Nazis, good and bad white nationalists. He was saying that there are good and bad people on the debate of whether or not there should be a Confederate monument in the public square. About 2 or 3 days later, Mike, I watch a lot of CNNs, as I tell my audience so they don't have to. Another person is on CNN and says the same thing about Donald Trump, saying there were good Nazis and bad Nazis on both sides. Now, he didn't say it on Tapper's show, but he did say it on CNN, where Tapper just debunked that whole thing. And nobody said a word. The host did not say one word. Didn't say, my colleague right down the hall from me, Jake Tapper, just debunked that. Nobody, and they still say it, by the way.
They lie. They'll lie with impunity. In fact, look at all the documentaries that have been made about January 6th. They always show Trump's speech. They always show him speaking, but they never include that one sentence where he said, I know that you're going to go peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol and let your voice be heard. Right. They never include that because it destroys the narrative that Trump led an insurrection. So look, I'm at a point now, I don't know about you, Larry, but I truly am starting to just laugh them off. They're just noise. They're becoming increasingly irrelevant. The protests are coming from white, aging hippies in the streets of America who are banging bongo drums and playing guitars and singing, he's a fascist, he's a fascist. That's all they've got. They're storming the ICE facility in New Jersey. They're flying a plane over Mar-a-Lago that says Cutter-a-Largo. I mean, they got nothing, Larry. So we're celebrating. It's been a great week, and boy, are we going to have a celebration in August on board this Patriots Alaska cruise, because this is going to be a vacation that your audience and mine will never forget.
Absolutely. Consider the psyche of a Trump hater. You have to root that the tariffs destroy the economy. You have to root for inflation to go up. You have to root for a job, for a bad jobs report, none of which they're getting. The stock market has recovered all of its losses from Liberation Day. In April, 177,000 jobs, more than the experts thought. Inflation, last couple of months, pretty much been flat. And now all of a sudden, all these deals are being signed by these various countries, including possibly even China. And Trump's popularity, if you look at Rasmussen, which is the accurate one, is now at 52%. These guys have nothing other than to yell and scream and call Donald Trump a fascist and a Nazi, and it is no longer effective.
But you just nailed it. They're not rooting against him. They're rooting against the country. Because, of course, if he fails, the country fails. They don't want lower grocery prices. They don't want lower prices at the pump. They don't want a secure border. They don't want safety and security. No, but the trouble is they really don't. I think they're fine with the country burning as long as they can say Orange Man bad. What are they going to do when he wins the Nobel Peace Prize, Larry?
Which brings us, Mike, to Ms. Jasmine Crockett. She said that she talked to a donor, and the donor wants the safest white male they can find to run in 2028. Excuse me, a safest white boy they can find to run in 2028. And she said that the Republicans are inherently violent.
I hope we get more and more of Jasmine Crockett. I've got half of a mind to make a contribution to one of her future campaigns, because we need more of her. As long as normal people see that she's become the face of the Democrat Party, and in a way she has. She's kind of replaced AOC. You know, AOC is off barnstorming the country with poor Bernie on the oligarchy tour. Bernie's raging against the oligarchs. He's one of the oligarchs. He's the guy with the vacation home and flying around on private jets and downplaying the idea of standing in line to get on a United Airlines flight. And he admitted it. You saw it the other day. I know you heard it on your show, where he literally said, "I'm not going to stand in line to go to a United Airlines flight. I got 30,000 people waiting for me.
Millionaires.
Why would I get on a commercial airplane?
Millionaires and billionaires.
What?
Millionaires and billionaires. I'm not going to stand in line.
We got to fight. We got to fight the oligarchy. We got to fight the oligarchy. I mean, they're clowns, Larry, and it's getting better and better.
August 16th, 23rd, join Mike Gallagher and me along with Jennifer Horn, Joe Piscopo. Text travel to 94878. Text travel to 94878. Mike, thank you for taking the time to spend with us. We appreciate it.
You got it, Larry.
God
Keep
bless.
fighting the good fight. I'll see you soon, my friend. Love you. Take
God
care.
bless.